Surprise, surprise.
Hello, and surprise, we are here, Peter and Sel from Strong Healthy Women, with the weekly wrap up from everything that's been going on in the Strong Healthy Women community. And there has been an absolute lot
Mozza.
this week.
Yes.
Lots and lots and lots. And so, where do we start? Well, I want to start by we've had three really, really meaty topics this week, Sal. The first thing that we started off with on Monday was talking about surviving the silly season and keeping your holidays healthy and how you go about that. We also touched on addressing how you can cope when you're alone at holiday season. So that's a big thing in itself as well too. And having personally been through that, there were some really lessons that I had and wake up calls about myself as well along the way. So that was a really interesting topic. That was on Monday. So you can go back and have a listen to that. But if we get time today, we'll delve into some of these things a little bit more. Then on Wednesday, Sal, you got caught up getting your new hairdo done. Although, mind you, I can't really see the new hairdo.
No, it doesn't look, you can't see that. It's really dark, yeah. Because it's a gazillion degrees here in Queensland.
So Sel wasn't around, so I jumped on and I did a really, well, what I think was a really, really interesting topic, and that was saying goodbye to 2020. So don't wait till we get to the end of 2020 to say goodbye to it now, and to look at it from a couple of different perspectives. Firstly, what are the things that you learned about yourself during that time, and what did you implement that you can move forward with into 2021? And then the second part of it was to actually look at the negative things that happened and deal with those negative things. So to write them all down, put them in a journal, put them in a piece of paper, better still, and then to actually go and dig a hole in your backyard and actually bury them. And if you couldn't do that, you could always burn it over the sink. So that was another option as well too. So there were some tips and some hints and advice around what you can do to really have this fantastic 2021 moving forward, no matter what happens. Like what COVID happened in 2020, but if we get thrown into something else again, the lessons that we've learned this year, we can certainly take those and have a much better outlook on anything that gets thrown at us, moving forward in life as well too. And then on Friday, we talked about positive thoughts, and that all rolls into this holiday theme that we're having at the moment, because so many people are out and about doing their shopping and they're going crazy and they're thinking about, okay, this is going to be perfect. And the reality is it doesn't have to be perfect. The shop's only really shut for one day, not many, many days. And so we can really just take a little bit of a more chilled approach about it. And I think if 2020 has taught us anything, that is to value what's important. And, those non-important things, well, we really don't really need to think about them too much. So, and they were, as I said, I think there were some really substantial topics in there. Sel, what did you think?
Oh, yeah, they were. And I think this time of year we do get into that everything needs to be perfect mode. We need to be rushing everywhere to get everything done.
Yeah.
I was just thinking on Friday, I drove past this business on Friday afternoon, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, they had their Christmas lights on. Their Christmas lights aren't on now. And then I thought, maybe it was last year that I saw their Christmas lights. And it got me thinking about how it wasn't, this year I don't think it has been that we've lost time. So, from March till, September, it's not that we lost time. Our time was confused. It's so hard grasping that concept that this year has gone so quick. But I don't think it's gone quick. I think it's just that our time for 6 months was a confusing time. And coming into Christmas,
And it's,
as you
yeah,
said, valuing things that are so much more important than what the tree looks like, or, you know, how many presents are under the tree, or anything material. It's just valuing who is with us coming into 2021. And yeah, focusing what we've staying positive, because we did speak about that on Friday, keeping those positive thoughts and taking them into 2021 with us as well.
Yeah, totally. And I just want to make a point there as well too, because some of us may still be in that situation as well too, because we're
Yes.
very blessed to be here in Australia, and that, you know, our local governments and our government have handled the situation really, really well, and we are a little bit isolated as well too from the rest of the world, being
Yes.
a tiny little country, and so we have had that opportunity to stay a little bit safer during this time of this pandemic that we've been through as well too.
Yes.
So I want to move out of that into giving Justine a bit of a shout out. Here's what I love about Justine. She is such a quiet achiever. She comes in, she says hello very quietly in the studio. But she puts in such a massive effort when she's working out, right? But what she also does is that she started off with us when we did the Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge in September, in August it was. And then she moved on, she rolled into the 28-day Fueled Up Transformation with us. And she got some really, really great results with that. But that didn't stop her, because she then identified that she needed that ongoing accountability and support, not only just from a workout perspective, but from how she thinks about things and how she wants her life to be and what she's eating and what she struggles with as far as staying on track when it comes to her healthy lifestyle. And she's just been plodding along with the lessons that she's been learning and listening and taking everything in. And so Justine has lost 75.5 centimetres off her body.
Wow.
That's since September, so the 1st of September. Yeah. And she's lost 7.6 kilos. And here's the kicker though, 8.5% body fat.
Wow.
8.5% body fat. I'm going to say that slowly and let you let you think about that. Yeah, okay. And we can see it, like we can see the difference in her shape, definitely. And it's the body fat. I mean, for us girls, look, we become so obsessed with what that weight is on the scales. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't jump on the scales and check out your weight, because it is one way of measuring. Particularly if you want to stay on track, that is one way of measuring. The other way is to actually do the measurements like Justine's been doing. So she's measured her body, her bust, her waist, her belly button, her thighs, her bottom, all different bits and pieces. And so she's just been progressing it, and she's been really, really consistent in that. She's been doing that every single month. She's done a check-in with what her measurements are. And then there's the body fat. Now, if you can do the body fat, I am like so happy. I love it when you do your body fat, because what that means is you're not just losing weight, ladies. You're actually losing fat from inside your body. Okay. And we want to lose that fat from inside our body, because that's the stuff that gets around our organs, that clogs up our arteries, and that causes all of these, preventable heart diseases, cholesterol, diabetes, all of those things that go on in life. And so whilst we can focus on that scale, we really want to focus on shape changing? Am I staying toned, which means that body fat is changing? And that's what we want. So look, we've seen ladies who have lost lots of weight because they've got out there and they walk like crazy. Walk, 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 walk. But there's been no strength training, and they might have eaten sensibly, but maybe what they were missing were some key things like having enough protein or having enough food to fuel their body. And we see that quite a lot, is that people restrict, ladies in particular, restrict the amount of food that they have. And so what that means is when you're starting to lose weight, you're losing muscle and fat as well. And we want to lose the fat, not the muscle. We want to keep that because we want to stay strong, right? You want to stay strong, Sel, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm,
And can I just add to that too?
Yeah.
We often see as well ladies who you could be 49 kilos, but your body fat could be 49%. And that's
totally.
why strength training is so, so, so important. You know, so if you're going into a weight loss program, whatever it may be, and doing it because, you know, there's heart problems within my family or there's diabetes within my family, it's not about just losing that weight. You absolutely have to lose that body fat because, as you said, that body fat is sitting around your organs. You know, so it's catch-22. You don't want those organs being affected from heart disease, diabetes, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But then if you're not going to strength train, there's really, you know, sort of like a catch-22.
Oh, look, there totally is. And that reminds me is that over in our free group, which is women over 50, get active and healthy. So if this is the first time you've tuned in, I've got the link in the show notes here. So you can actually go and click on those and come and join us over there. But that free group, a post that I put up this week, which was you only get to choose one. That's one. That's not one. One. You only get to choose one. What is it? And so was it walking or was it weights? 2 W's, walking or weights. And, you know, we got lots of responses. I do this and 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 this. And thank you for responding. I really love that interaction. So then I've been typing back and go, okay, which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? Oh, my goodness, Sel. And it warmed my heart because guess what's winning so far? Weights.
Yes.
Weights. There's been a few more walkers coming in just the last day or so. So that's been interesting. Some of the walkers are actually throwing it up there as well too. And look, walking is a great exercise. And someone actually put walking all day, every day. Look, I do both, but walking all day, every day because it's good for my mental health. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to go out on a limb here. It might upset you a little bit, but guess what? Any type of movement, regardless, is good for your mental health.
Mental health, yeah.
So, yeah. So if you're doing weight training, that's good for your mental health. If you're doing Pilates, that's good for your mental health. If you're doing yoga, good for your mental health. Walking, running, jogging, jumping, horse riding, on the swings, it's all good for your mental health. Because guess what? When you get your blood pumping and circulating throughout your body, it's ended up here. It's pumping around up in your brain as well too. So it's good for your mental health. So here's the difference though. When you're walking, it's generally you're a little bit more relaxed in the process and you're looking at your surroundings and you're taking those surroundings in. So you're getting the opportunity to appreciate things. So that's the significant difference there. Anything to add on that, Sal?
My go-to is always strength training. I love strength training. Yeah. I don't mind.
I got to say, I'm both, and that's my routine. So I will do a 10,000 step jog every day without fail. Every day. I will always do that every day. But that's my warm-up. So I'm now warmed up, and so then I come in and I do the strength training afterwards.
Training, yeah.
So yeah, and I've done that this morning. So the only day that I really ever have off from some type of structured training is Saturdays. Saturdays are my day off. Yeah. So, but I still walk. All right. I know you've got someone special that you want to give a shout out to. Who's that?
I do have someone special that I want to give a shout out to. This is going out to one of our beautiful clients, Trish. And Trish shot us an email last week, towards the end of last week.
Yep.
And
she did?
She did. And it was a wonderful email because she was reaching out. And she had an obstacle in front of her, and her obstacle was that her hours had increased at work. And she felt that it was impacting her workouts, and she didn't feel like that she'd be able to continue anymore. And so we reached back and emailed her back. And it was wonderful to receive her second email, which said, I don't know what to do now. And I love that because it wasn't just, okay, well, I've accepted this obstacle. This is all that's going to happen. And I can't continue with my exercise. And that's the end of it. But she said those words, I don't know what to do now. So we gave her a phone call. I rang Trish and we had a wonderful chat. And we put a plan in place. And this week, the plan was that I would shoot her a text message every Fitflex day, going to see her in the studio, and then she would come into the studio. And Friday I showed her that text message and she said, I've just walked in the door from work. Yet she still came in for her workout. And I just want to shout out to her because she's reached out. She had an obstacle. She reached out. We've put a plan in place and we've stuck to that plan. We've made sure she sticks to it. Because her thing, she loves the Fitflex and she loves the virtual studio and she loves the workouts and she knows how much benefit she's getting out of it. Yeah, and how much she's improved. Yeah. And yes, I want to do a shout out to Trish because we're all very proud of you, Trish, that this obstacle has come up, but you have found a path around that obstacle, and that obstacle is now behind you.
So one of the things that really resonated with me in the email, firstly, was that her first approach was, I can't do it anymore because work's changed, so I'm just going to stop my membership. And that's okay. So we've emailed her back and said, oh my goodness, since you've done the 28-day transformation, you've come so far, we know you love the studio, what can we do to help you? And one of the things that she actually said in that return email, which is, other than I don't know what to do now, was I lack enthusiasm. Okay. So here's an interesting thing, because enthusiasm is very much like that magical, mystical unicorn called motivation, isn't it, Sal?
Yeah.
So, we can get to the stage where when life throws us these little curveballs, that we go, okay, something has to give, and I'm not going to be able to keep going with this because I just can't cope with all of the things that are happening. And we've actually seen this a couple of times during the course of the week where ladies have gone, I just can't keep working out because of this. Now, so here's the question, is this, whatever those things are they going to change short term, or are they going to be there a little bit longer? They're probably going to be there a little bit longer. So do you simply just go, well, okay, I'm going to wait for them to disappear and then I'm going to restart? Because let's face it, any of the hard work that you've done in regards to your workouts, it's going to slowly take a backward step in your life, and it's going to have those reverse effects. So the question is really, You need to rely on your daily practices. You need to rely on these habits and routines that you've created. And so where we're seeing these messages come through about these obstacles or, you know, roadblocks that ladies are having, they're at that really interesting stage cell, because habits can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 200 days to actually, you know, make it part of our routine. And there's no magic number. It just depends on you and what your life is and what's going on in your life. So there's no actual magic number there. So it's until it becomes ingrained in you. And that's the difference here. So they're at this stage where it's almost ingrained, but it's not quite. So when life has happened, it's like, oh, it's not quite there. But they're reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's important here, is that when you know that that enthusiasm or that motivation is starting to lack, what happens is we take a step back and we go and hide and we disappear because we think we have to rely on ourselves internally. But the truth of the matter is that we're at that stage where we need to actually put our hands out and say, help me. Okay, because it requires us to take action. And that's when we're going to get that really push through that moment, that barrier, to be able to keep that forward moving momentum.
Mm-hmm. And one of the interesting things that you said there then, and what I did point out to Tricia was it takes 66 to 200 days to form a new habit or routine.
It's really bad, yeah.
And I pointed out to Trish, she was at 99 days of her routine. So she was getting there and she was creating that habit. And by putting that plan in place, you know, she's now at 102 days or 105 days of creating that habit. So she's a third of the way. If it does take her 200 days to create that habit, she's half the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's those sort of things when you do reach out and you do find somebody to help you be accountable, they're the things they're going to look at. That's the sort of things that we look at. Because let's face it, that's not something that we would look at ourselves. We wouldn't sit down and work the calendar out. Okay, I started on this day. This is what I've done. This is how many days I've been working out. It's not something that we would do. We would just put that barrier up and go, there's an obstacle there. It's too hard. I don't want to deal with it.
And the other part of that, Sal, is to actually also look at, why did you start this in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
So did you really take that opportunity? And I know this from a coaching perspective. Did you take the opportunity? Did you do the work in the first place? Because for many of us, we just go, okay, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight, or I want to be strong, you know, and that's not going to be enough to get you through.
No.
And so that's why we do these little snippets here and there, you know, in the Wellbeing TV, and we say, here's what we want you to do. Here's the action we want you to take, particularly when we're delving into why is this important to you. When we can really take that time to write it down and find, you know, the categories or the different reasons why this is where we're doing this, then when you get to that stage of lacking enthusiasm or motivation, we can actually look at it and go, not only you're 100 days into this, you actually said this. This is why you're doing this. Is that not important to you anymore? And it is. It's just that work's changed.
Yeah. And adding to that too is a lot of our ladies often say that health reasons they want to keep those preventable diseases at bay.
Yeah.
When an obstacle comes up, then why is that why is your exercise routine the first thing to go if one of your whys is to keep those preventable diseases at bay. And we know that that's what exercise does.
Yeah. Good point. Totally. I think we're more in tune with it though, Sal, as we get that little bit wiser in our life as well too.
Yeah.
When we start to get that 45, 50, 60, etc., we are more aware of the fact that we're in our second innings. We're not in the first innings. And so we want it to be the best it can possibly be. So we are more open to thinking about it and delving into it a lot more. And that's what I love about working with women, 50-ish and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about exercise of the week, because exercise of the week we're doing over in our free group, which I mentioned earlier, Women Over 50, Get Active and Healthy. And the exercise of the week this week was a lunge. And I actually did the reverse lunge, and I broke it down. And one of the things that, as I was putting this together and I was thinking about it yesterday, I went, you know what? That lunge is such an important exercise because it works our core, our hips, and our glutes. But if you think about a lunge, Cell, it's walking. It's your walking motion. And who doesn't want to keep walking? Who doesn't want to keep walking? Nobody.
No one.
Everybody wants to keep walking, and yet we might very well have this mindset. It's like, I'm not doing a lunge. I don't like a lunge. It hurts my knees. And so if you haven't had the opportunity, ladies, go and have a listen to that video where I broke it down, because I did talk about how to protect your knees. I also talked about a couple of little exercises you can do to actually increase the mobility in your knees as well too, which will help with your lunges. So go have a little listen to that. So Sal, you got anything else that you want to share today?
No, that's all. I just wanted to do our shout out to Trish, because I'm just so proud of what she's done. Actually, one other thing we want to just do a quick shout out to is all those ladies working out in this heat, putting their fitness first before sitting in the aircon. I love it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit hot in Queensland at the moment. Yeah. So
it's a sweating session. That's exactly right. I do have one final thing that I want to talk about. As I said, it's been a really big meaty week this week. And I will keep this short and to the point. So every Friday evening we have in our VIP group, which is the Insiders, we have a weekly catch up. And it's only 30 minutes on a Friday evening, and it's about assessing where we did really well, where we struggled, and what put a smile on our face basically during the week. And then to connect with the others and to hear everybody else's stories, because that's what it's about. When you're around other people, whether that be virtually or in person, it helps you gain momentum. It also goes, oh, okay, I'm not alone. I'm really not alone, because someone else is feeling it. Well, guess what? There was nobody alone this week, because I took a different approach this week, and I said, okay, I want you to tell me. So we usually do a rating of 1 to 10 in the 5 key areas of well-being. And so I said, we're going to do something different. I want you to tell me the best thing and the worst thing that was really bad for you this week that you struggled with. Get sleep. One out everywhere. It was the struggle for everybody. Every single person who turned up. It was a struggle, wasn't it? You included, Sel.
Me too, yes. Me as well. It was a struggle this week with sleep. Yeah.
So we actually did an impromptu little bit of a masterclass. So I didn't want to take up too much of everyone's time. And I did give a couple of moving parts, let's call them moving parts. So different techniques that you could use. And I said, okay, there's a lot in that. I want you to maybe pick 1 or 2 things that you know that you can do. So, Sel, tell me, did you pick anything out of that, one or two things, or did you pick one, and how have you been going with it?
I did pick one. Can I just say too, the ladies that are in our insiders group, pretty much we all had a wind down routine, which you had spoken about. But
yeah,
it's one of those things that has fallen by the wayside, me included. And so my wind down routine, or part of my wind down routine, was listening to delta waves. So I'd put my delta waves on my phone, put my phone under my pillow and fall asleep. And I had just let that pass. But Friday night and Saturday night, I went back to that. I went back to what I know worked for me and slept like a baby.
I would say probably don't have it right underneath your pillow, love, with all those electrical currents
good
whatever
point,
that's coming.
I won't be sleeping, will I?
Well, you'd probably be sleeping, but it could possibly be doing your body some damage. But have you slept better since you've been listening to your music?
Oh, yeah. Last night I slept like a baby. Like it was, I think, 10:30 and I woke up at 6:30 this morning. So a good 8 hours sleep.
Beautiful. And so here's the thing, that saying, music calms the savage beast. So true. So true. Yes. And so I shared some of my favorite music that I really like. There's some musical therapy that I particularly like when I'm, feeling on edge. It might just be that I'm just like feeling a little bit like that, but I don't know for what reason. When I find I put that music on and just listen to that music for a bit, it really does help to calm my nervous system down. And I did talk about the music that I listen to of an evening. Now, here's the thing about music for me. That is something that I used as a child. I always had music on, even as a teenager. The music was on, and so I'm just going back to those routines that I knew. And so, without getting into all the detail, I'm going to leave you with an action item today. And if you're not sleeping well, I want you to think about, what was your childhood routine? So what did you do as a child? What did your parents do with you? Was it that you went for a nice bath, and washed away the day? Was it that your parents read you a story? And here's the thing. I know that Paul likes me reading. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a technical magazine. It doesn't matter. But I do read. He falls asleep like that. He's gone. So having someone read to you might be just the thing that you actually need as well too. So, if you do have someone who really cares about you, they might take that opportunity to read to you one page, and you might find you go straight to sleep. It could be that you got in, beautiful clean sheets or crispy, jammies or something like that. It wouldn't matter what it is. It could be listening to the music. It could have been that your routine was that you had dinner. Grew up in the 60s, you had dinner at 5:30. Then you didn't eat anything after dinner, and then you went to bed. So with the busyness of life now, what can very much happen is that we could be not eating dinner till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then trying to go to bed at 10. Like, our digestive system is just roaring at us saying, no, that's not going to happen. No. You're not going to get a good night's sleep tonight. Yeah. So there's around, there would be over 200 techniques, I think, on getting a better night's sleep that I'm aware of. And so there are some consistent ones that I know work for ladies. So if sleep's an issue, what I want you to do is to actually go back, think about your childhood routine, and is there something there that you can tweak, and just monitor it and see how you get on. And here, mark this in your calendar. Let me just find my calendar so I can give you the date. On Monday, the 11th of January, we will be doing the Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge. It is 5 days, just 5 days out of your life. And one of the topics we'll be talking about is sleep. So we will be talking about sleep all day long. So put that on your calendar. Thanks for joining me today, Sel.
Thank you for having me. Can I just add as well, as far as musical therapy and delta waves that Peter and I were just talking about, they can be found on, if you have Spotify, you just need to type in musical therapy or delta waves or music to help me sleep. You don't need to search for a particular song. You'll just find something in there. And for me, with my delta waves, I would listen to a few, and the ones that I chose were ones that I connected with. So some music you might like, some music you might not like. So listen to a few. YouTube, there's heaps and heaps and heaps on YouTube that you can download as well.
Yeah, my favorite is Deep Sleep. I really love that album, Deep Sleep. But okay, so just to wrap up, ladies, so you know exactly what we've covered today. If you've just chimed in and you're thinking, oh, I wonder what they talked about, you can go back and listen after we finish today. We gave a shout out to Justine and her achievements, and that was really fantastic. 75.5 centimetres, 7.6 kilos, and 8.5% body fat. And we talked about why body fat was so important to actually maintaining good health. We had 3 topics that we talked about this week, which was surviving silly season, saying goodbye to 2020, and using some momentum from that goodbye to move us forward into 2021. We also talked about positive thoughts, because everybody gets a little bit silly and crazy at this time of year. Gave a shout out to Trish with her reaching out because life has changed for her, and that she was about to give it up, and she gave that hand up and said, I need help, and she got the help that she needed. So love that so much. We've also talked about the exercise of the week, lunge, which is, that's the thing that's going to keep you walking. So make sure you get some lunging done this week, ladies. That video you'll find in Women Over 50 Get Active and Healthy, which is our free group, and the link is here for you. And we have finished up with sleep today. So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Sel. Thanks for being here.
You're very welcome. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, Peter.
Happy Sunday, everybody. See you all.
Bye.